Remembering my last job at the hotel, we had a Christmas party last year, and I ended up crying, and I was so frightened and sweating. I'll share with you the story that about a month before that party, we need to start seeing how many people will be attending the party, and I already told my boss that I was not going. He actually knew I had that anxiety, but he tried to encourage me to join the party, and also did everyone else, because everybody found out that I wasn't going, and they tried to encourage me to go. I was so frightened, and I tried to force myself to attend because I actually knew everybody at work. I had no problem like making fun or having fun with them or very talkative, but being in the party is just another story. And in the entire hotel, maybe like 50 plus people, and I knew most of them. So in that party, we had like a lot of foods from the takeout. We got a lot of foods. We got some alcohols, drinking, eating, gambling, dancing, prize draw, everything with music. On that night, our restaurant closed early, and I was the only one working closing shift, and everyone, all the servers, they came in and helped me close. But at that night, I followed one of my girls to the banquet room where we held that party, and I was so scared. I hid behind her and stand by the entrance door, and I was already feeling very uncomfortable. And I stood there for less than a minute, I think, and I ran back to the restaurant and did all the paperwork closing shift. And after I finished everything, I just sneak out without telling anybody, without saying goodbyes, without picking up the foods, without having any dealing with anybody. I sneak out. I was so frightened. That was the time that I realized that my anxiety was very, very serious, because I was in tears, not because of the anxiety, but because of I know everybody cares so much about me and want me to join with them, but I saw that as pressure. It was very stressful for me, so that's why I was in tears. Even my boss came to the kitchen and had a small meeting with me, that like the, asked me to like encourage myself to maybe at least to get some food to eat. But I did not listen to him, and I just ran away. That was very serious, I feel like. And even after the Christmas party, I had 2 days off. And after the days off, my boss said we need to talk a little bit. And I cried again because I really couldn't do it, and I felt a lot of pressure from everybody. I know I make everybody feel sad, but it is maybe a little bit, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me what you think. Share your experience about your anxiety when there's a party waiting for you. Because I feel like I actually know everybody at hotel, and maybe some people they bring some family members, maybe boyfriend or husband or wife, or maybe some kids. But actually I know everybody, but being in the party is still very uncomfortable for me for some reason. I could be very relaxed when like one on one, but in a party with like 10 plus, 20 plus, 40 plus people, it is very difficult to manage for me still. So you might or might not know that I work in a hotel restaurant as a server. I am actually comfortable serving customers like in a proper way, but I have some girls, co-workers, they are very good at talking with customers. They are okay, they're very comfortable talking personal things or asking how their days are going, any plans and their personal experience on certain things. They are very good at that. But to me, I cannot do that. I could do a proper service, be polite, but when customers trying to be extremely friendly and have a long conversations, I usually don't know how to react, and I just keep smiling and be very shy sometimes. And I think that is one thing that is making this job a little bit interesting. As a social anxiety person, I work as server to deal with the customers and talk with the customer. This is one thing that is actually pretty interesting to me. So usually when I go out with friends, I would much prefer to do two peoples only. Even well, first, I don't have a lot of friends, but even if I do, I still feel uncomfortable going out with maybe over four people or five people together. Feel like it is very difficult to have a conversation with everybody, then end up it's going to be small talk. It is better to have like a one-on-one conversation so we can talk things a little bit in depth and deeper, talking about life, financial goals, things that we struggle, and it is much more personal, I feel like. And I'm not sure if it is like a social anxiety disorder symptoms, but it is actually very comfortable. I don't need to be alone all the time as I check the introvert symptoms, but having like a two people one-on-one conversation definitely make me feel comfortable and feel safe. I would say yes. However, I am not the person who always want to speak my opinions except to my sister because I feel like there's a very big chance that we'll end up argument or getting people upset because of the disagreement, and I don't want that happens. Having a set ending of the meeting or like a meetup groups, I think it doesn't matter how much we love freedom of speech, it is still very difficult to appreciate different opinions or disagreement, and we still need to be mindful that how we speak to make people upset sometimes. We don't know the whole story and we try to make a judgment or opinion on something that usually don't end so good. So I am the person who really could get upset if something sad happened between friendship, and I want to resolve it immediately, maybe apologizing before we both go home or something like that. So I could feel very, very upset, just a little bit of the sadness. Especially my parents, they are not very good at taking disagreement, and I try to keep quiet. You know, the reason I create this channel is because I want not only want to do the travel vlogs, and I want to talk with people. Maybe when I'm cooking or when I'm eating, we can share some life topics. And if you're also struggling with something, you know that you're not alone. and maybe you can learn something from me, hopefully, or you can help me with that I can feel better, maybe something I need to learn from you as well. I really like to not only talk about fun and play, but also making some friends online as well. That is something I really wanted to do when like I talk about different kind of topic things, and maybe one day we can, when I'm like cooking or eating here, I'm talking of something, then you can also having a dinner, maybe you're alone, then you can rewatch this video, so you can like make each other feel better to talk about something more like emotional things or something. I also sometimes I go on a chat room to meet some new people online, and it is very weird that my social anxiety also happens when meeting people online. And I could be very cold when it comes to meeting new people, even online. If you try to approach me or say hi to me online, you probably know I could be very cold and I take extra precaution. And I know that there's something that I can improve on, and being nice a little bit better, because it doesn't really hurt, like just typing some nicer words or being engaged a little bit more. But I don't know. When I meet new people, I am usually very cold, and making people feel discouraged to carry on the conversation. I am not really good at it, but let me tell you, once I know you well, then I could be very talkative. But at first, I am always scared and worried about what is the purpose that you talk to me. That is actually something that I feel like a little bit overthink, and that is very bad, I know. Some people might ask about how, like, why I travel alone all the time. So far, it's been 3 times, and I actually ask people to travel with me or if they want to, but everyone, every time, the answer is no. It is because I don't know, the people around me, they usually maybe they don't want to step out of their comfort zone or something. So they think maybe it is not necessary, or when I ask them, hey, do you want to go somewhere? Without asking for details, they will already say, no, I'm not going to, I don't have time, without thinking of any kind of arrangement. Or some people, some of my friends, they keep saying they want to go somewhere, not just traveling, but maybe grocery shopping, go to shopping, go out for a drink. And it seems like nowadays maintaining a friendship is not one of the reasons for them anymore. And if it is not necessary to do something, they just refuse now. And then over time, I just stopped asking for them. I feel like a failure when asking for them to go have some fun, because I feel like having fun or gathering, maintaining a friendship, and I feel like it is just better to do things alone. I also want to share that for some reason I feel like everybody around me, they try to take advantage when people ask them to go out somewhere with them. For example, my dad would ask me if I ask them, let's go for dinner, who's going to pay? Are you paying? Sure. If I'm not paying, no. Or my friends would be, if they need to drive, maybe it's too long way, maybe it's too cold, or maybe it's too hot, too snowy. If I'm driving, then sure, that's okay. That is very depressing to me. That um, I mean, I don't mind that, but when like every single time they ask the same thing, then I feel like I I need to beg them to be with me, and I'm scared to listen something like that anymore. So yeah, when you talk about my social anxiety disorder, does it affect me while traveling? I would say yes, definitely. The really what first thing I could think of is going to washroom on a plane. To me, getting up from the plane seat, going to the washroom, if I feel like stepping on stage and everybody is sitting down in like a darker environment, and I need to get up and walking through the aisles, I feel like I'm going up the stage and start speaking. And things like this, plus I have a IKEA vlog, and I think I mentioned that before I start filming. It took me 2 to 3 hours to get myself prepared and get up and film on that day. I was already at IKEA, but I wasn't ready because my social anxiety hits me so hard on that day. So things like these kind of things, when I know I need to do something and I'm the only one doing it, I would feel very anxious and I would need hours to try to convince myself that let's get up and do it. That could waste so much time, and that is also the fun part of making the video, because I'm actually documenting my first time experience stepping out of the comfort zone to do that thing. That thing may be very common, very usual thing for people, but to me it is very worth documenting. And I remember when I traveled to Paris, I was at the hotel, no, I was at the airport trying to take the train to the Paris city center, and they have the uniformed staff helping tourists to operate to buy the train tickets. And I feel very anxious at that time because I felt like the people, the staff there, they just want to finish everything quick and kick me away. They weren't really listening carefully and teaching us how to operate the machines. They just push all the buttons for me without explaining everything, and then ask us to pay and put the card here and get the ticket that way. And I did not feel good about it, and I feel like they really did not care about telling us what to do, and that's why I very anxious about who to pick to help. And when I need to find someone for help, I don't just randomly pick someone. I need to make sure that people they are willing to help me. I don't want to experience something like the staff member. Um, they just do it quickly without explaining, and you know what? Just pay and go. That way, and they don't say anything except when we ask you something. Then that would be a yes/no answer. I don't want to feel that, and it's actually increased my anxiety and fear, because that was actually my first experience talking to French people. I think my anxiety come from maybe from my mom and dad, because they always ask about what to wear and what to eat, why I always go out and not staying home, with some sarcastic tone, I would say, because Sometimes I try to communicate with them and share my plans with them about, for example, let's say I buy a scarf because it looks like in the winter time, and then one day it starts snowing and I'm not wearing a scarf. Then they will say like, oh, you bought a scarf because you said you want to wear it in the winter, and now you're not wearing it. Then what's the point? Or one day I buy some vegetables because I tell them I want to eat healthy, and then the next time they see me, they see me eating sausages, and then they will ask, oh, I thought you said you want to eat healthy, but now look at what you're eating right now, then you're not even doing it right. That kind of thing I feel very stressful, because every single time they see me situations like this, they would take the chance to make a judgment. And nowadays, when I try to do something like this, I would really be mindful that not to let them see me. That is basically everything that I want to share with you this time. And I know like what I'm talking today is like everywhere, is not very well organized. I hope you still enjoy this video. I try to talk everything about the social anxiety, but in terms of introvert, I check online. I don't know if I am an introvert or extrovert, because I do feel like I'm not a party person. But at the same time, I don't really need to be alone to gain energy, because I prefer to have one friend with me so we can have a drink or even a wine to gain the energy with talking to my friend, but just only one, not more than one. And also, I love traveling. I prefer to travel myself, so I don't really know. It's just that when I travel by myself, I travel alone, I feel like the concept and what I learn from the traveling is much more satisfying than traveling with a bunch of people. Traveling with a bunch of people is always about fun and play, and traveling alone is more about emotion and learning, spiritual side, and I feel more satisfying doing that. And I can have my own schedule, although if I have someone that have the same mindset with me, then yes, traveling with two people is what I always prefer, but no more than two. It doesn't matter what I want to do, like going to a restaurant, having a coffee, or going to travel. Maximum two people is what I prefer. More than two people, I would be anxious. Absolutely, I would be anxious. And even today, I film in Tim Hortons at the coffee shop. I still have anxiety before filming, because it is still pretty awkward for me to film in public. So I try to take it easy. If you like this kind of video, give me a like, please. I would love to make some more of these types of video that we can have a drink and we can talk things over. Talk things over that way. That would be yeah. Sometimes it's better like that, because in reality, in real life, I don't have a lot of friends. So, and if you try to like say hi to me on social media, please be patient. I could be very cold, but I am overall a nice person. So just that, don't be afraid of me. If I don't respond to you on Instagram or something, leave a comment on YouTube. Maybe one day I would do like a respond to comment video. Then I would recognize every one of you. And you can also say hi to me, introduce yourself. I don't want to see you as a viewer only. I want to see you as friend. I want to be able to remember your name and where you're from. And I know a lot of people, you guys, if you like put comments on there, put more often, then yes, I will recognize you, okay, and in the respond to comment video. So thank you so much. I will talk to you in the next one. Take care.